Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Collective podcast. My name is Aisha Harley, and I am one of the founders, and it is always a pleasure to have you join us live on our call today. We gather every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and don't worry if you can't join us live, you can always catch the recording on your preferred podcast platform. For a complete list of our community offerings, please visit us at hellovisionary.life. You can connect with us on Instagram, YouTube, and all the major podcast channels. Your 5-star rating means the world to us. It helps us spread our wisdom to even more listeners. In today's episode, we have the privilege of hosting Doterra leaders Josie Schmidt, naturopathic doctor, and Louise Rose, also naturopathic doctor. They'll be delving into the fascinating world of our microbiome, and it is so much more than what many of you may even think, and unveiling the exciting details of doTERRA's newly reformulated PB Restore. Join us as we explore its potent blend of support featuring pre- and postbiotics, 24 strains of probiotics and 4 phages, and discover why all of this is crucial for your well-being. And I'm going to add, there is nothing else like this product on the market. So we are super psyched to tell you more about it. I'm going to pass the call on over to you, Doctors Josie and Louise Rose.
Thank you, Aisha.
You want me just to dive in there, Josie, or do you want to?
Yes.
All right.
No, I think Dr. Rose is going to start us off with.
I'm going to just give us sort of an overview of what is the microbiome, why is it important, all that jazz. So human beings have been evolving with these microorganisms forever. And in fact, we now know that our bodies, our own human cells, are outnumbered by the bacteria, fungi, all those little things live in and on us and are really part of what makes us healthy, and they're supposed to be there. So our society went through this era of antibacterial, we were afraid of viruses, we were afraid of the bacteria, and we wanted to sterilize everything, and we wanted to use hand sanitizers all the time. And now we're learning that it's really important to have the healthy microbiome, which helps us protect against those pathogenic varieties. So our microbiome functions like a huge invisible organ that influences every aspect of our health. It involves more than just the digestive system. In fact, our skin has its own microbiome, our mouth, our eyes, our ears, nose, lungs, kidneys, urinary tract, reproductive tract. So each part of our different microbiomes communicate with each other and help our cells and vital organs. It's just foundational for our whole systemic health. We know that disruptions in our microbiome can cause big problems with our health. Those disruptions can be things like diet. We know that healthy microbes need lots of polyphenols, a variety of different fibers, for instance, and don't do well with a lot of sugar and processed foods, as you can imagine. Stress has a big impact on our microbiome. Our sleep and activity level can influence it. And then, of course, our environment. So do we live on a farm where we pick a carrot out of the ground, brush the big clumps of dirt off of it and eat it? That's going to introduce good, healthy microbes into our diet. Or do we get everything from a supermarket that's been sterilized? Also different medications can affect our microbiome, and all these different influences impact how our microbiome health is. So we like to think of using the analogy of a garden. So we know that a healthy garden thrives with diversity, right? Another problem with sort of our systemic monocrop agriculture system. So we have these huge farms that grow only one thing. They become more and more dependent on external, like putting other nutrients into the soil and using chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides and chemical herbicides, because farms and gardens need diversity to thrive. They need different pests that have predator pests that are going to keep everything in balance. And that's the same for our microbiome too. We can think of it as a balance. So we want a diverse and balanced microbiome. Let's see. Our gut microbiome has all sorts of different ways that it influences our health. It helps us digest our food. You can see that 70% of our immune system is in our gut. And so those microbes are educating our immune system, which is really important, because when we have an overreactive immune system, that is something like allergies or autoimmune conditions. That could be an immune system that is responding inappropriately to things that aren't really a threat. But we also don't want an underactive immune system where we are catching every bug that comes along. So think of tending to your microbiome as tending a garden. We want to give it water, rest, sunlight, movement, take the weeds out, plant the good, beautiful flowers. We know that the probiotics, the good bacteria in our microbiomes, are sensitive to things like temperature, pH, nutrients, and we want to develop a healthy, resilient microbiome. So the microbiome is really responsive to what we feed it. So we think of the food for the probiotics is called prebiotics, and really there are different kinds of fibers that support different kinds of microbes. So you want to give your body a variety of these different fibers, which you can just get from eating a whole foods diet, really lots of fruits and vegetables, and chew your food well. Different functions for the microbiome include energy metabolism. We know that the research is just coming in so fast and strong in regards to how these different strains are affecting our metabolic health. For instance, there was a really interesting study that took, they can study mice that have no bacteria in them, and then they plant bacteria from, for instance, from an obese population or an obese person, and then they feed, and then they have mice that don't get that bacteria, and they feed the same food to the different mice, and the mice that have the obese microbiome get obese, even with the same amount of calories and the same amount of micronutrients. And so we know that the microbiome is influencing how we metabolize that food. So interesting. And how much of our obesity epidemic since the early 80s has been because of the disruption in our soils and our farming, which is then mirrored as a disruption in our own microbial gardens, right? Let's see. We also know the microbiome has an incredible influence on our brain health, so our cognitive health. And we all know how important that is to be able to have a long lifespan, but with a long health span. That's our goal, right? So cognitive health, mental health, mood really correlates with the gut. And it turns out that one of the ways that happens is that the metabolites of the microbiome, so the microbiome eats the prebiotics and produces metabolites, and those metabolites can include things like short chain fatty acids, which then act as signaling to the brain. And some of these signaling pathways have to do with mood, and then also with things like satiety, and back to that metabolic health. The signaling can tell us, oh, we've had enough to eat, we don't need any more food. That leptin and ghrelin sensitivity can also be part of how the metabolites of the microbiome influence our overall health. So sleep also can be influenced by our microbiome, again, through these metabolites and the short chain fatty acids and how they're distributed after we eat. So let's see, what am I forgetting here, Josie?
I think that's great. I loved some of the research. What was that? The study on mouthwash and, alcohol-based mouthwash. And yeah.
So we have our oral microbiome, right? And Josie's referring to this study where the alcohol-based mouthwash disrupts the healthy oral microbiome and leads to poor ability to metabolize our sugars and have healthy blood sugars. So, wow.
Yeah. That's most of the conventional mouthwashes like Listerine and such forth are alcohol-based.
Yeah. So we're basically, our job is to be the life raft for our microbiomes. Let's see. We know that.
How about all of this that we have on the slide, Louise, about the diversity with our food and 75% coming from 12 plants,
right,
and 5 animals.
So we talk about how the diversity in the garden is important for our health, and the diversity of the food that we feed the microbiome helps create this beautiful garden in our bodies. And as we become this industrialized society and our farms become these big monocrop farms, the diversity of the food that we're eating is really been reduced. And we are down to eating about, it says 75% of the world's food comes from only 12 plants and 5 animals. So that's pretty minimal. So anything you can do to try new foods, shop at a farmer's market, maybe get a CSA box when you have a community supported agriculture and you're getting your box of veggies every week. You end up trying foods that you never maybe would choose because you don't know what they are, like, kohlrabi, or maybe people don't eat turnips very often, and there they are in your box, so you have to figure it out. Diversity. And we also know that over time, as we age, different ages have different sort of microbiome tendencies. And as we age, the diversity tends to decline. So we're going to be telling you about Doterra's new formulation of their probiotics. And this is really a beautiful product that's designed to be just taken on a regular basis, not specific to treating one thing, but to support a good, healthy diversity in the whole system.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good introduction. Should I
All
take
right.
it from,
Well,
yes, take it
let's
from
take it
there,
from here.
right? So when considering, we wanted to kind of go over this idea of when you're choosing a quality supplement. I mean, this could go for a lot of ones, but we're really talking about a probiotic here. There are 5 things that you want to think about if you're comparing one to the next and looking at them. And so the first one, probably the most important, is really the strains and the species of microorganisms. So you really want a microbiome supplement that has multiple strains and species. Not, if you're going for a very therapeutic action and you're seeing a doctor and they're treating something, they might choose a probiotic that has one strain and they're really trying to push things in one direction to make a situation turn around. But in general, for wellness and for health, the name of the game is not just 1 or 2 or even a few. You want a wide variety. You want diversity of strains and species. So the second thing you want to look at is origin. From what source do these species come from? And with microbial strains in a supplement, the human origin is widely considered to be the premium source for microbiome supplements. And let me say here that the human origin refers to the ability of these bacteria to grow within your body. So they are not collected from humans, nor do they contain any human byproducts. There are trillions of types of bacteria on the planet, and the human origin strains are the ones that have co-evolved alongside people. So you want to be choosing a supplement that has a majority of human origin microorganisms. So the third thing you want to look at is potency. With probiotic supplements, you want them to be alive when you take them. So it's vital to ensure that the product you choose contains active live bacteria cultures, and the life of the strains is guaranteed at the time of use rather than the time of manufacture. So this is definitely something we see and you want to be aware of. So the units, there's 2 kinds of major ways we see them being referred to. There's CFU, which stands for colony forming units. And this counts, and this is a count in the supplement that indicates the number of live cell bacteria. However, like I kind of just connotated to, is buyer beware. Some companies can be misleading and advertise their CFU at the time of manufacture. All that tells you is that amount, whatever they're telling you, however many millions or billions of CFU at the time of manufacture was there. It's been on a shelf for 2, 6 months, 9 months. We don't know how long. And it also has to get through your whole digestive tract. We don't know what actually is going to be the amount of CFUs that are going to be usable to you at the time of use, right? So it's a mischievous way, in a sense, to label products. And so you want to keep an eye out for that's not a CFU at the time of manufacture. There's a new and different method called AFU, and that is active fluorescent units. This is a measurement that comes from a modern sophisticated flow cytometry test method that is for precise enumeration of live cells. So AFU is considered the most advanced and precise enumeration method to calculate the viability of what are you receiving at time of use. So the fourth thing you want to consider is survivability and viability. So you also want to see are those things happening in your probiotics? And so the acidic environment, so there's that time of use, and now you have to deal with what is it happening when you're taking it in your body. So there's this acidic environment of our stomach is a very inhospitable place. You're going to want a probiotic complex that has an encapsulation or an enteric coating or some kind of similar solution or strategy that's helping the microbes survive in the stomach and making it to where they need it, which is through the stomach and into the very beginning, first part of your gut or your intestines. So that is a very important thing. What kind of system or science is there helping that probiotic to get through the stomach acid intact and alive. So that's number 4. And number 5 is testing and science. So there's hundreds of microbial strains are present in the human microbiome. A fraction of these microbes are currently available in probiotic supplements, and an even smaller fraction have been clinically tested to prove any meaningful health benefits when included in supplements. So when you're researching a microbiome supplement, it pays to review whether the strains selected in the products have been well researched or clinically tested. Are the claims made by the manufacturer confirmed by science? All right, so those are the 5 things you want to be considering in looking at a supplement. So let's look at the new PB Restore. Next slide. All right, so in our PB Restore, it is a big bump up. There are, before I even get into this, I want to let you guys, because I didn't know this, and I know people love to know this. What does the PB stand for? Does anyone know? You can put it in the chat. PB stands for probiome. I am probiome. That's good.
A lot better than being.
Yeah, are you anti-biome or are you probiome? I am probiome. So both of them. So PB Assist for the junior is now called PB Assist Plus, and it used to be called PB Assist, the regular one, and now it's been bumped up to PB Restore. And they stand for probiome. All right, this is a truly revolutionary in the microbiome supplement space. Hold on here, I'm just gonna move something I got here going. Okay, so I'm gonna read here some about this because I love all of the information compacted. In one little dual chambered capsule, we deliver a proprietary blend of 30 bioactive components. Aisha started with this, right? So I'm going to count them out. There's pre, pro, and postbiotics, and this other thing called bacteriophages. We're going to call these the 4 P's, with bacteriophage being a P. So prebiotics, probiotics, postbiotics, and bacteriophages. These are the 4 P's in this probiome complex. It's a 4-fold increase in the number of strains compared to our previous capsule that was in the previous one called PB Assist. It is a patent pending formulation that makes Doterra's PB Restore the market leader in diversity of strains and species within a microbiome supplement. Each probiome complex capsule offers a CFU count of 18 billion active live cells at the time of use. If you've been taking our previous capsules, that's a triple increase in potency. To ensure survivability and viability, Doterra's PB Restore uses patented encapsulation technology with an inner and outer capsule to ensure the delivery of 30 bioactive components at just the right time to the appropriate areas of the digestive system. You can see the outer capsule hosts, I think let's go to is it the next slide that I have? Does that have the 4 P's? The next one, you will see the inner and outer capsule. If I did, and then we'll, yes. So see this, it's really nice. You get to see that kind of dual capsule chamber there with a liquid in the clear one. And then there's that inner smaller green one. So that is there to ensure, let's see, you can see the inner capsule. So that outer capsule has the prebiotic FOS, which stands for fructooligosaccharides. They're really a type of fiber that is the main preferred food for most of the probiotic strains. So you're kind of delivering those strains right into where they want to be adhering with their food. And so, but I want to, what I'm trying to say is that in this outer layer, so not in the green part, in the outer one is where you're getting that prebiotic, which is FOS, also the postbiotic and the bacteriophages. Those are all there. And then let's see, also the outer capsule is in a time release inner capsule, and it's that inner capsule that holds the 24 strains of the probiotics. So this unique double layer capsule technology protects the bioactive cultures from the harsh environment of the stomach, delivering their active benefits to the site of adhesion in the intestinal tract. Every strain has been selected for this capsule very specifically. And both the PB Restore capsules and the PB Assist sticks, which I'll get to in a second, have been selected because, and here's that last piece of all the different things that we just went over, there's substantiation in science and medical publications about each of these strains. All research papers were meticulously reviewed by Doterra's team of researchers and science medical experts as they created the formulas for the product. And so I want to also say additionally that Dr. Stevens, who is on the medical team, and her team are running currently a double-blind human clinical trial to establish the specific benefits of taking this Doterra's Probiotic supplement daily. So that's a big deal to be doing a human clinical double-blind trial about daily supplementation and to be seeing that specifically with this. So we're really excited and we really look forward to sharing those results with everyone. All right, I guess we go back a slide because I'm going to go over in more detail the 4 Ps, the differences between prebiotics, postbiotics, probiotics, and phages. I hope people are interested in that. I am, but sometimes it can get much. So hopefully I'll go quickly. So prebiotics are not the same as not the same as probiotics. Prebiotics refer to dietary substances that favor the growth of probiotics or beneficial bacteria. A simple way to think of them is as their food or fuel for the probiotics. So the prebiotics are selectively fermented by a commensal probiotic bacteria to produce short-chain fatty acids, acetate, propionate, and butyrate. And the specific one we use in here, the FOS, has the ability to selectively promote the growth of the bacteria for us. So they're really that food that is enabling that bacteria to really have a great growth in that new garden that we're trying to plant and support. So the probiotics are those. Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you can stop eating your vegetables though.
No, not at all. It's just that we really know how few people actually are getting in the active amount of fruits and vegetables that they should be and want to be getting. And so it's just a way to help kind of give them a leg up when you're taking that supplement for those probiotics. So the probiotics are a live microorganism that confers health benefits to the host when administered in adequate amounts. Probiotics directly compete with pathogenic bacteria for epithelial binding sites on cells within the gut's mucus layer to support gut barrier integrity. For a probiotic to be effective, it must survive the gastric and resist gastric, bile, and pancreatic secretions. Those are all of our digestive juices. And it must attach to the epithelial cells and colonize in the intestines. People worldwide have consumed probiotic cultures for thousands of years in things like cultured yogurt or kefir or fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or soybeans. And more recently, people have come to appreciate the benefits of daily supplementation of probiotics, especially in America, where we don't really laud these fermented foods as much. And a lot of American culture doesn't even like fermented foods or finds them weird or odd. So in that setting of America, especially as a naturopath, I found it extremely helpful to then have this extra added benefit of being able to use a capsule. And again, it's not instead of, it's an and a plus. So still adding in these fermented foods if they are in your diet and if you like them. So postbiotics are the quiet heroes in the microbiome story. Simply put, postbiotics are helpful substances made by probiotics that deliver benefits long after the probiotics have passed through the digestive tract. When probiotics or existing healthy gut bacteria eat prebiotic fiber, they create the good stuff. Louise already spoke about this. These are the postbiotics, or they're also known as the metabolites. In fact, when you take prebiotics or probiotics, your end result is to create the postbiotics. So what are these? These are things like short chain fatty acids. They're bioavailable vitamins, amino acids, peptides, enzymes. Remember quorum sensing molecules, the things that help us fight against viruses, that too. And how about some GABA? Would you like a little more GABA in your breaks with your neurotransmitters? Yeah. Dopamine, GABA, and other neurotransmitters are also considered postbiotic metabolites. So this is an incredible, I wanted to read through this, not to sort of say, yay, we need more science, but to really get the idea of what is all of this doing in our bodies and how is it helping us? And then what's this fourth P? The fourth P, phages, in the bacteriophages, they are abundant in nature. They're found in seawater, soil, fermented food, and us, people. In fact, you have 10 times more bacteriophages in your body than bacteria. And we know we have a lot of bacteria because we have more bacteria than cells. So that's a lot of phages, right? They're a natural part of our whole human gastrointestinal system. But they aren't actually bacteria, even though they're called that. They're actually healthy viruses that infect and eliminate our pathogenic bacteria. So these phages seek out unwanted microbes that can compromise our digestive health or our urinary tract health or other systems in the body. And they effectively clear space for probiotics to do their important work. They destabilize the cell walls of the unwanted bacteria and they take over the important functions and bring us back into health. So we really want to encourage these phages in our gastrointestinal system. And so these three Ps, the prebiotic FOS, the postbiotic strain, and the 4 bacteriophages, remember, they're all encapsulated in the outer cap of the dual chamber capsule. And then they get ready to work with the 22 species from 24 different probiotic strains that are released from the inner dark green capsule. So that is the take home about our PB Restore. So I love this slide. There's a lot of information showing the 4 Ps, the 24 probiotic strains from 22 different species, and they're all listed here. If you're listening on the podcast, you'll want to look up or order some, so you can look up on the bottle all the different strains. But then there's the 1 prebiotics, the short chain fructooligosaccharides for the prebiotic. The postbiotic was really interesting. It's a specific one that is encouraging more of these metabolites, lactobacillus rhamnosus, CRL 1505, heat inactivated, and then 4 phages that are in there. Okay, so I think the next one is if you're visual and you want to see a visual of diversity and that we want a lot of different kinds of microbes, there it is. And I really wanted to, there we go. Everyone's different and they all work together, and we want diversity in our daily supportive wellness probiotic. And so here you go. If you wanted a more bulleted, well, what is this doing? What is it helping me in my body? We can firmly say that for the digestive health, it's helping with our gut barrier integrity. It's helping with micronutrient absorption. It's helping us to have a much
also, can I interrupt? Yeah. So I forgot to mention earlier, it really helps with motility in the gut.
Yes.
So, as naturopathic doctors, we were taught that basically all health begins with the gut, right? And it's what we're absorbing, what we're not absorbing. And motility refers to how quickly is our body taking the food that we eat and turning it into poop. And it's a balanced process. And so these probiotics also help balance out if you're tend towards slow, sluggish bowel movements. It can help regulate you, and vice versa. It can help with the nutrient absorption if your motility is too fast.
Yes. So with something like SIBO, it can be helpful after the fact with when you've done some specific work and then you're working to maintain. Yeah.
Yeah, really important.
So as Dr. Rose mentioned before, can help with healthy metabolism and our blood sugar regulation, our lung health and respiratory health. There's connections with and our skin, dermatological health, definitely with our oral health. In the whole mouth is considered its own microbiome. And as studies and more research is continually showing, may support cardiovascular health, urogenital health, brain health, DNA function. You know, the
And
list is
mood.
almost endless. And mood, yeah.
Yeah.
Josie, can I chime in something here?
Yes.
Well, what I want to share that is very exciting is that I never really understood the full capacity and the importance of our microbiome or the probiotics. And over the years, I have suffered from both anxiety and depression. And I purchased a very expensive product. It was a probiotic to really help support the brain. And those strains are in this. And the other thing that I have a lot of issues with are bladder issues. I have a fussy bladder. I get a lot of UTIs. And I also purchase a special strain for my bladder. And it has made all of the difference. If there's any like post-menopausal women on this call, and you have a fussy bladder, the strains that are in my other bladder formula are also in this. So
yes,
and both of those products are they're both
very
more
expensive, right? Yeah.
than this. So I was literally jumping up and down and running to Dr. Louise and Dr. Josie and telling them those strains are in this formula. How cool is that? So I just want to bring that to your attention, that this can really help with anxiety, depression, and also your vaginal and bladder health, among all of the other things. I just really want to make sure that you all get that take home, because I know that those are kind of universal issues that a lot of us struggle with. So back to you.
Thank you, Aisha. So that's that personal exclamation point to that idea of diversity and the fact that there are 22 different strains in here. That is on when we say that this is, you know, a new groundbreaking product, it's not that there's not a lot of probiotic products on the market. We're talking about the breadth of the diversity of strains that are in here at time of use activity, and then together also with the delivery system, getting it to where we want it to be effective in our bodies. And so Aisha pointing to that they'll very expensive products that are marketing to a specific thing, brain, you know, vaginal health, and they'll have 1 or 2 strains in there, but they're in here too amongst the 22. And so this, to be having that as your daily support over time, is really how we're going to see with Aisha how it's those UTIs are not going to crop up. She's going to have resistance against them because this will be her daily supplement that she is doing, and then she's having that support in here, as well as the brain probiotics. Yeah, love it.
Nice.
So here, great. This is part of looking at that comparison. So when you look at different ones on the market, most of them from the right towards the left, you see they only have 1 strain. So these are you know, products that are targeted for a specific issue. And yes, they might really help you climb out of that acute or chronic issue, but they're not going to give you that diversity that you want over time to make you more resilient to not getting into that problem in the first place. So, and you start to look at that one, I don't even know what that is in the black bottle next to our PB Restore, but it has, you know, the species, it has 12 species. When you can see the next one has 5, and then the rest of them all have 1. And then Doterra has 22 species. and it has 29 total strains versus that other one has 24. And you look at the other one's a little bit more expensive, similar price point, but all the different things that are in that are going on in our product. And I think we have a different slide where I'm going to read to some of the like what's not in here. There we go. So what's not in here? Well, there's glyphosate is not in this product, and there's not too many products on the market that will actually be able to tell you that it's glyphosate tested and it's not in there. And if you don't know what it is the leading I'm going to say chemical, but it's really a what's the word?
Antibiotic.
Well, no, glyphosate is used to get it's yes, pesticide. It's one of the ingredients in the leading pesticides of Monsanto, and so it really is one of the things, that it's caused. There's so much linked to glyphosate being a huge contaminant and toxin for us and all of our systems. And so that's great. It's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, it's sugar-free, and you have a 30-day money back guarantee. So I love all of those things besides all the yummy things that are in it. Okay, so let's go on to the PB Assist Plus. This was formerly called the PB, the Junior. And so this is a proprietary blend of 13 strains of probiotics and a prebiotic in a convenient stick pack for the whole family. And they really marketed it before for children. And now it's one that it is great for children and elderly or anyone who has difficulty swallowing pills and cannot do that. This is a wonderful thing to use. But it is not just for those digestive systems. It's really for everybody. It's double the amount that was in the previous stick in terms of the strains. And the 13 probiotic strains are different from those offered for gut health in the PB Restore. So if you're taking them together, you're really going to be getting the maximum diversity out there. So this PB Assist Probiome Gut Complex delivers 7 billion AFU at the time of use. And remember, AFU stands for active fluorescent units. It's the most sophisticated method for enumerating live cultures in a probiotic supplement. And you might be wondering, so wait a minute, without that unique double-layered capsule technology, how does my PB Assist, how am I ensuring that those probiotics are surviving the harsh stomach acid in my gut? Are you wondering that? Because we just spoke that you need that, you really want that double encapsulation, and this doesn't have that. So the answer is micro encapsulation. So while PB Assist feels like it just melts in your mouth, remember that these friendly flora are microscopic, and the probiotic strains are micro encapsulated with a protective coating, which supports their efficient delivery through the stomach into the intestines and the lower GI tract, where they really want to be adhering and getting to work. So they have their own groovy system of delivery as well. And I think there's another slide too that shows the stuff in the, Go ahead, Louise. Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to interject a little bit. Sometimes people ask me like, what's the best time to take a probiotic? Yes. I like to think about like evolution and how our bodies are naturally designed to take in these different gut bugs. And, typically we take them in through our mouth with our diet. So obviously prehistoric people didn't have these encapsulated perfect strains and everything, but they were eating fermented foods and different things, and they go into the digestive tract with the fibers and polyphenols from the diet, and then that is the best way to get them into your system. So we do recommend that you take these probiotics with food. However, I will also say don't get hung up on that, and if your timing works best to just take it in the morning before you leave the house or whatever, it's still better to just take it on a regular basis than worry about taking it at the right time. But optimally, take it with a little food, and it's going to help it get to where it needs to go and provide the best sustainability.
Yeah, I used to say also like taking it in the morning with food, but also at night before bed. Like sometimes there had been studies like that has shown benefit with food, away from food, but it's really now better. The more is showing itself with food. So I don't take it at night at all before bed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And is this a good time to talk about the little toddy?
Let's go. I think we have one. Let's see. Let's finish through. Or did I want to read these out? No, it's just sort of basically saying with this PB Assist, it's helping not only with the digestive health and the gut microflora, but a healthy inflammatory response with healthy looking skin in toddlers and children, healthy immune system and nervous system development. I think the cutoff that Doterra recommends is 4 years old. At 4 years old and above, they can take a full sachet. It's like a little stick, like a pixie stick sachet. Below that, for toddlers that are below 4, they recommend a half of one. And you can mix it in with applesauce or with a smoothie or with a beverage, or you can take it right in the mouth. So
it's really tasty.
Yeah. And just a shout out for the two of them together, that when you take, if you are taking both products together, you are getting 37 strains of probiotic and you are getting 43 bioactive components. So that getting it up to that level of close to 50 is always the ideal of diversity in a probiotic strain and environment, and you're really supporting all the different diversities in your whole microbiome.
Beautiful. I will say just a couple more things. One is that we know now that there are certain species that act as, they call them keystone species. So if they get established in your garden, then they help provide the kind of environment that other healthy bacteria like. So it's really important to establish the keystone species, especially if you've had any disruptions to your microbiome, like antibiotics or stress or sleeplessness or diet changes, this sort of thing. You really want to do your best to optimize establishing these. And one of the things that I've been teaching my patients to do is to use the Doterra fiber powder, which is really delicious and has a nice variety of soluble fibers and is really tasty. Josie taught me this. It's really tasty with hot water. And then I also have learned that clove oil, which we think of as really antimicrobial, right? Turns out clove oil really helps the mucosa on the gut lining be healthy. And we know that having healthy gut lining is also really important to establishing that good environment for everything to thrive. So what I've been doing and asking my patients to do is in the mornings, take a scoop of fiber, put it in a mug, and then put, a little squeeze of lemon juice, a little pinch of good salt, like Himalayan salt or real salt, and a couple drops of clove oil, and then hot water, like you're making a tea or a toddy. And you can add other oils if you like. It might be a good time to add a frankincense or copaiba, but the taste is delicious, and it's providing your body with some good hydration in the morning, and then it's providing your gut mucosa with that clove oil, which is going to stimulate that. And then the fibers are then there to help feed those keystone species and help the the biodiversity. And we also know fiber has so many other great benefits, right? For cholesterol and weight management and blood sugar management. So try the toddy and let me know how you like it.
Yum. Marilyn is asking if you can put that in the chat.
I
Or
can't.
maybe we'll make a
in
meme.
presentation mode, so maybe
Okay.
just fiber, salt, lemon juice, clove oil, and hot water.
And all of this information is most of it is from the Doterra's Probiotic product course. It's fantastic, y'all. So you go in, you can, if you are on this, you take a picture of the what are these things called?
QR
Thank
code.
you. The QR code. Or you go to the link at Doterra. It's where they have all of their science product courses, and it's called the Probiotic product course, and it teaches you all about this. It's super informative. I loved reading it. I have different groups that are actually going through together online and reading through it and doing the workbook together. There is fantastic accountability and workbook exercises. Louise, do you want to talk about that? We're looking at it and doing it, and they're very, very informative if you actually take the time to do the different activities and the workbooks.
Yeah, there's a nice place to rate your, how you rate yourself on the lifestyle pyramid and the lifestyle habits, and that can be useful in assessing where you are with your microbiome in terms of what you might need to support yourself with. Do you need more support to make sure you're getting to bed earlier? Do you need more diversity with more vegetables, more polyphenols? We keep using the word polyphenol. That refers to the different colors in our veggies and fruits. You might also be familiar, because we use that word, with the deep blue polyphenol complex. So that one is going to be useful and helpful too. Let's see here. I was going to pull up. I don't have access to that quiz, so
Yeah,
I think
so much. Sheila asks, yes, the workbook we're talking about is in this product course. In the Probiome product course is a downloadable workbook. The whole course exactly is downloadable, and in there they just have they break down and work with a pyramid and with the concepts. And if you do any health coaching or work with anybody and any clients in any ways, it's a great thing to have them work with and to track.
beautiful.
Yes, it is downloadable from the course. Yeah.
Right. Are there any
All
questions?
Right. I know Florence wanted to speak about her experience in the last couple weeks with PB Restore.
Okay, I'm not going to come on camera because I don't have good lighting where I'm at right now. But I would like to share is now it's almost a month since I've been on the PB Restore. And I will back up just real quick, make this quick. About probably 15 years ago, I chemically burnt the palm of my hand using a chemical disinfectant in my work. And so I would have to go, it was so painful. And I would end up on antibiotics and prednisone. And prednisone was like the magic, I just took it away. But then when I went off of it, it would come back. So I have had this ongoing. And when I started with Doterra 7 years ago, I've not used any of those products since then, like the prednisone, to like the magic elixir, so to speak, which is, I understand from my understanding, is that it tends to cause it to go deeper into the skin. And then when you go off that prednisone, then it comes forward again. And that's what was basically happening. So I have always been on the lifelong vitality vitamins, and I've also been on the PB Assist from the past. But where I noticed the biggest change is when I started the PB Restore. And I noticed that, so my hand, basically what would happen, it looked like eczema, type of a layering of, scaly cells on top of my hand where it was trying to heal. And then it became very itchy, and which just compounded everything. So what I noticed with the PB Restore, that there was that less itchiness feeling. And I can tell that the actual skin cells around the area close to where it's irritated is becoming normal. So I'm super excited. I have I'm going to start my next month pretty quick, and just to keep moving forward, because this is a game changer. I'm so grateful not to have to go to regular medicine to get comfort, because it was very painful at times. So that's my story, and I hope next month I can really give you a raving review that I have normal hand.
Wow, that's so wonderful, Florence.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a game changer.
I want to just let all of you know that right now you can get these products in our convention kit. And if you haven't received your convention kit, it's a really good way to get all the products at a discount. And there's also products that are going to be released over the next couple of months. So if you want everything now, I recommend doing that. Otherwise, the PB Restore will be available singly in November. And then next week, Dr. Rose and Ariana are going to do a deep dive into the sleep system, which has also been updated. There's a new product and it is most excellent. So these are all like deep dives into our new products, because we didn't have time to do that in our overview call. So we're excited to really explore them further. And is there anything else to add? We have one more announcement. I'll just go ahead and let you all know, and then I'll pass it back to the doctors if they have anything before we wrap up. Tonight, we are launching our business laser coaching call. It is at 5 p.m. and there will be a panel of us experienced leaders. So wherever you are in your doTERRA business, whether you just want to share and get your oils for free, if you want to make some additional income, if you've been doing this for a while and want to up your business to the next level, whatever it is, bring something warm to drink, put on your cozies, and bring your questions. And we are going to be there to support you and have just a discussion and coaching and inspiration about building your business. So that is tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and it's the same link as this call. So is there anything else the two of you want to add?
I don't think so. I'm just excited to hear how people's experiences with these new products. I'm really, I feel like doTERRA really has some cutting edge and research. They're really committed to bringing us the latest in supplement thinking. So it's very, very exciting products.
Awesome. Yes. So there's a question asking, is PB Restore something we should take more than once daily? I would say once daily, or if you're trying to stretch it out and you have pretty healthy things going on and you want to do, once every other day, you could. It's formulated for once daily and that level of support. If there's things that disrupt the microbiome, like antibiotics, even prednisone, it can, right? It's different drugs, then you could consider a higher dose. And definitely if you are post an antibiotic regime, I suggest a very high dose for at least the first 2 weeks to a month, as you're trying to think about a garden that's just been raised to nothing, there's nothing left, and you're really trying to fertilize and rebuild that new garden. So you want to use as much fertilizer and fresh soil and fresh seeds and all the things to kind of bring back the garden.
Don't let the weeds take hold.
Yes, because that's basically what happens. People are like, well, remember how we talked about how all those things weed out the bad pathogenic bacteria? Well, they're there too. All the bacteria are there, and it's the presence of all the good guys that keep all the bad guys in away. So when you kill everything, it's like the bad guys can be stronger at first, and the yeasts and different things, and so they'll take in and start growing back at a much more thriving pace. And that's what we see a lot of the times after antibiotics, and why diarrhea is one of the primary, symptoms that people have.
There is also this question. We are at 11, so if you need to hop off, but we can stay for a few more minutes and answer some of these questions. Nancy asked, if I've been taking PB Assist Plus for a few years, I wonder what we should notice now that we are taking the new one. I'll chime in there, and then the doctors can answer. I think there is going to be a little bit of a difference because we have different strains being introduced. So personally, I am definitely noticing it in my mobility. And I've heard that across the board. Everybody is having very happy morning poops, which is a very positive thing. And then, like I said earlier in the call, there are those strains for your bladder and vaginal health, as well as those strains for your brain health. So at convention, a lot of people were reporting
skin.
Yeah, and skin, feeling happier. If you suffer from depression, anxiety, etc., those that shifting. Florence just has also, I think, been taking the PB Assist for years and had that shift in her skin. So I think it might be a little different for everybody, but there definitely should be some shifts. If you have your regular PB Assist, I'm finishing that product off, and then I'm going to transition over to the PB Restore full time.
And that one last question, Denise is asking, sorry, yeah, she just popped on, would you recommend taking both? And if you're looking for the maximum effect and diversity, yes. So they are completely different strains that are in the two different products of the PB Assist and the PB Restore. So when you combine them, you're getting 37 different strains of probiotics and 43 active ingredients. So yeah. That's what I'm going to do. And when they get I'm really excited also for bringing on in January the new electrolytes, because I think that just adds this other layer of support and all of the things to our cells. And we've been seeing wonderful effects of that together with the new strains.
I absolutely love the electrolytes. I've taken so many different brands, and I'm almost out of my sample pack, and I'm panicking because we're not going to have those until January, but they are so good. There's just something your body says a big yes, like give me those deep ocean minerals. They're so good. And one last question about tonight being recorded. We were not planning on recording the business calls, but I can discuss that with Dr. Josie, and we'll see if there's a big demand for that. You can reach out and let me know, but we were just going to keep that kind of a live call and leave it at that. They will not be posted on our podcast. Okay, thank you so much, ladies, as always, for sharing all of your wisdom with us. We are so incredibly grateful. I hope you all have a beautiful day. Make sure and join us next week to learn about the sleep system. It's so good. And if you hopefully can also join us tonight at 5 for some business discussion. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.